Good morning, everybody. And just we are going to start the crash course. But before starting, just to brief me that this APTI had launched this Prelims Xpress basically. The purpose is that it is a crash course. The purpose is same, that is Express basically. Although it should be Prelims Supersonic, because the purpose is crash course means some special word should be there. But everything fine. You can go through it. It is, you may have gone through it or not. Just try to go through this. Just the crash course is being to be started. First 5 minutes, just try to understand the purpose. Purpose is to make you comfortable in the exam, because in the crash course, we cannot cover the formally the subjects, but at least we can make you comfortable. Here we will explain disclose the nerves of UPSC, what type of questions UPSC can arise. So first around 6 hours will be, we will focus in the modern history, because modern history is the core part. And secondly, around 3 hours, we will focus on the art and culture, especially in the current perspective. So this will be the nature of this crash course. And lastly, I can assure you, even this crash course will give you around 4 and 5 questions from, simply the crash course will give you these questions, because we will be covering a multi-spectrum way. So whatever we will discuss here, I can assure you, around 5 questions may be coming directly from the crash course. So here, before starting this modern history, you should know the purpose of this examination, because we are going to appear for this examination, and who had led the structure of this examination. You may be hearing about this person whose name was. So before preparing for any exam, you should know the nature. Now we are having MBBS, we are having engineering services, and we are having civil services. So who was the man behind this? It is Macaulay, It was here the Civil Service Commission was appointed, and the purpose was for the recruitment of such services which can strengthen the British roots in India. Today the purpose is to remove the grievances of society, and the civil service members, gradually you will become the policy planners, you will frame the policy of the government of India. Hence this exam is recruiting, what type of persons who have vision basically. So just try to understand this point. Civil services is focusing not on knowledge, one step beyond knowledge. Knowledge-based exams are, MBBS, engineering, but UPSC is going one step beyond knowledge, because once you get knowledge, the next stage is vision. You will become the planners of the government of India. Unless you have this, you cannot make the policies. What India could be in 2050, what India should be in 2070. So questions, the tuning is like this, And one thing is very interesting. Whatever questions, whether it is history or it is a polity or ecology, environment, whatever you can say, since it is civil services, it is focusing on this aspect, vision basically. So the tuning of the questions, questions are focusing on the emotions, problems and solutions. Go and see the color of the questions, Whatever question is being arised by UPSC, they are coming from this type of attitude basically. Hence they are focusing on the emotions lying in the history, problems lying in the history, solution lying in the history. Last year in the art and culture question was like this: discuss the efforts made by government of India regarding preservation of art, culture and heritage. It means questions, since civil services means this is the nature. It was simply expressed to you so that you can catch the tuning of the UPSC. So this is simply the introduction to make you comfortable. For what exam you are preparing, it is very essential. So this exam is checking your vision basically. And now the first point which is very essential here, you may be surprised to know 60% question in the modern history, 60% question in the modern history is being asked from 40% syllabus. This is a very crucial point regarding the nature of questions coming in modern history, because we study in the dark basically, we study each and every topic. You may be surprised to know around these questions are coming from 40% syllabus And this syllabus, so just try to understand the syllabus, this syllabus, because this syllabus is laying the infrastructure of modern history. Here we can, these areas can be put inside this heading. Firstly, infrastructural development in British India. Infrastructure development in British India. Or you can call this topic as different policies of the Britishers. Because UPSC know the point, what is the fabric of modern history. So the first component is how India is becoming modern. It means infrastructure development going in British India. What do you mean by it? Different policies. You know what policies? Firstly, we can say economic policies, again with the E, education policy. And next is social policy. And lastly, it is political administrative policy. This is the core part when due to this India got modernized. And you may be surprised to know every year one question will come from this theme. Go and see the last year papers. Because without Big British came for the same purpose. India will have some modern structures. Because secondly, education policy. Every year around one question is there, and last year you may be surprised to know, last year 3 questions came from education policy. Because education is a torch bearer, It serves the interests of both white men and also ours, All leaders got the same education. So firstly, one question is from economic policy. Why? Because British came for the same purpose. Second is the education policy. Last year 3 questions were there, but this time you can expect around 1 question. And next is social culture policy made by the Britishers. And lastly, the last is political administrative policy. Here I can assure you, not less than 1. It means one question is every year asked from the last component. So just count the figures. 1 from economic, 1 from education, 1 from political administrative policies. Sometimes social may be there. But if you just take the minimum numbers, it is around 3 questions. And in the modern history, how many questions are being asked by UPSC? Around 10 questions. Around 10. It is not 10 exactly, sometimes 9, 10. So see the point. 3 questions is coming from this first component because it is a foundation of modern India. Economic policy, education policy, social policy, and finally political policy. The first component of syllabus is there. This second component is the 2 R's in the history of India. R1, R2. The first R1 signifies Renaissance, and second R2 signifies revolt of 57. Along with this, tribals and other class revolts in India. Go and see the last year papers, you may be surprised to know. This chapter, without this chapter, today we could not be sitting in India, This is such a chapter, Renaissance. It is also called as, what you may have heard about Renaissance. It is such a chapter in modern history. Just imagine if there could be no Dayanand Vivekananda in the history of India. Today we could not be sitting in India. We could be sitting in Bangalistan, Gujaratistan. It means these leaders were behind the unity and integrity of India. Just imagine if there could be no Renaissance in the history of India, what could be the profile of Indian history? Today we could not be sitting here in India. We could be sitting in Bangalistan. It could be Gujaratistan. It could be MPstan. India could be like this country. Dayanand, Vivekananda, Ram Mohan, they are the torch bearers. It were they who were behind the unity and integrity of the India. That is why UPSC know what is the value of Renaissance. Because without this we cannot stand, we cannot unite. And who were the torch bearers? Ram Mohan, Vivekananda, Dayanand. You may surprise to know, UPSC had reserved this number of questions from this topic. Because UPSC know it is the nerve of India. It is the nerve, it is a force behind modern India. It was this chapter which was responsible for unity and integrity. So you can not expect, it is very confirmed. 2 questions are from here. And next is a revolt of 57 and plus other tribal and the class revolts. Here, this is starting a new phase in the history of India. First time Indians dared to throw the white man. You find, Lakshmibai, Nana Sahib, all the leaders are there. So here you can expect one questions and plus one question from the multiple revolts India is having. We are having, tribal revolt, peasant revolt, and revolutionaries. All these activities are there. So here in this whole topic, you can get around 2 questions. And just count the figures. From the infrastructure, we have counted the number, it is 3. These 2 R1 and R2, because it is the backbone of Indian history. Without RENASA, we could not be sitting in India, we could be today sitting in Afghanistan. There is R1, R2, UPSC know what is R1, R2. It means 3 plus 3 makes 6. So don't study, at least at the last moment, focus on those chapters, which are the nerves of modern history. Just, it means now the question is 3 plus 3. Just see how much comfortable you are when you know the nerve of UPSC. UPSC know what is history. Don't waste your time in coming in European commerce, European companies, English companies, French companies. No doubt they help us in understanding the history. But since time is short, focus on this chapter. We will discuss one by one. So firstly, it means this is the part. Around 6 questions is coming from these 2 topics. Yes, please. Yes, yes. And yes, we are coming to the point. That is also from this theme, Just listen for 2 minutes, Last year a question was like this. It is coming from the same theme. What theme we have expressed just now? The theme is infrastructure in British India. Secondly, making of modern India. So see the point. Last year a question was like this. UPSC had given some events. Some 4 or 5 events were there. And one of the question was like this. Which had occurred the first? See the question. It was like this. Our Samaj was established by Dayanand. Second was that Anand Mat was composed by B.C. Chatterjee, Bakin Chatterjee. Third was this Neel Darpan. Sorry, Indigo Revolt. Instead of Neel Darpan, it was Indigo Revolt basically. And last was that Satyendranath Tagore was the first Indian ICS. So see the nature of questions here, what type of questions UPSC was asking. Sometimes we suppose it is a factual question, it is not like this. Are you getting the points? Our Samaj was established by Dayanand. Anand Mat, composed by Bankim Chand. Indigo Revolt, Neel Darpan, either of the fact was there. And the last fact was Tagore became the first Indian ICS. And UPSC is asking you, among these events, which had occurred the first? So some of the students complained last year that said UPSC is asking some factual informations. And this is not expected from UPSC. But the point is that it depends upon your vision. Just we have discussed, UPSC is checking this. What visualization you have made about the history of India. Whether you have crammed it, or you have gained the knowledge, or you have gained this. Once you gain this, you can understand the question, what is being asked. This question is purely vision basic. Just see the point. You know what is Anand Mat? It is a mantra of freedom movement. Vande Mataram became the mantra. Finally, it got incorporated by the parliament as the national song of India. If UPSC is putting Vande Mataram, Anand Mat was composed by Bankim, it means because this book, this novel was a torch bearer. Secondly, our Samaj, just we have discussed where our Samaj is coming. Without our Samaj, if there could be no our Samaj, there could be no Vivekanand. Where we could be sitting, we could be sitting today in Afghanistan. Just we have discussed the point. Because RENASA means awakening of India, unity of India. Our Samaj was established by Dayanand. So just try to analyze the points. And Neel Darpan, Indigo Revolt, whatever you can say. So whatever points UPSC had given here, it is not a fact. It is a vision which UPSC is asking you how you have visualized the history. What vision these events are giving. For example, our Samaj is an eye opener. It had a spirit of unity, integrity among the Indians. You know, can you tell me who had coined the word Swaraj? Who had coined the word Swaraj? Answer is Dayanand. Still, we are waiting for this fact. The word Swaraj was coined by whom? Dayanand Saraswati. And you may be aware, this Swaraj later became the goal of Congress from 1906. And Swaraj means share in governance. And this Swaraj later got modified into Pund Swaraj. But the point is that who had coined the word? Who had coined the word? It is Dayanand. Just imagine, if there could be no Dayanand, what type of India we could be sitting? So UPSC know the point, the body which has given the birth to the term in the Hindi dictionary, and the same term became the mantra of Congress. Even Gandhi is carrying the same mantra. It means if our Samaj is being asked, what our Samaj has given to India? It had given the word S. Secondly, it means you should know this body, where this body is lying. This body is lying in this year. If Anand Math is coming, Anand Math became the torch bearer of the freedom struggle. Here you find a song called as Vande Mataram, you know, finally, it means you should know it. Where this novel is coming, it is coming here. If Neel Darpan is coming or Neel Darpan was there. Instead of Indigo, UPSC had put this statement, Neel Darpan was composed by Deen Bandhu Mitra. This is the first novel, you can say, the first attempt by the intellectual to support the cause of common man. Peasant is a common man, you know. Indigo, peasant, you know who is peasant? Who is lying at the bottom of society. First time it is surprising, it is very surprising that intellectuals are coming in support of the common man who is lying at the bottom of society. Just imagine, can you tell me the Indigo revolt happened in which year? It is coming just 2 years after the revolt, 5960. Just imagine, at that time we were sleeping. We means even intellectuals were sleeping. It is the first occasion in the history of India when some intellectuals are coming in support for the peasants. They are writing, discussing, criticizing. And the foremost among them was Neel Darpan. It means first time, you know, even Gandhi and intellectuals came later on. So who is the first to come in support of common man? It is intellectuals of Bengal. One of them is Deen Bandhu. And you may be heard about Vishwas brothers, Digambar and Vishwambar brothers. So they were not peasants, they were intellectuals. First time in the history of India, we are witnessing that the elite class are expressing the discontent of the common man. It is very surprising. Because the year is 5960. At the time we were sleeping. That means this is the point. Lastly, Tagore, you know, S.N. Tagore, coming from Tagore family, automatically he will be the first Indian ICS. But the point is that the first Civil Service Commission was appointed in this year. Just we have discussed, Macaulay was the chairman. Civil Service Commission is coming here 61. Just apply your logic. If Tagore may be the first Indian ICS, he cannot become ICS before the body had taken birth. However smart you are, at least it will take 2-3 years. Tagore will become the ICS only after this year. At least 63 basically. So this is fact or this is vision. It depends upon you how you have visualized the history. If you are cramming, it seems to be fact. If you are going for civil services, a true civil service aspirant, always have this type of color in your mind. It means this is purely vision based facts. Which occurred the first, you know which occurred the first. Even if you don't know the year, by logic you can trace out the years. Tagore, you know, Civil Service Commission is something here. Tagore can become in after this. It means this may occur the first. Because Macaulay is becoming Civil Service Commission chairman 61. So Tagore became in 63. Sorry, this is Neel Darpan ho jayega. 5960. Yes, this is the first. Because Neel Darpan is the first attempt by intellectuals to support the cause of common peasant. It means it is very clear. It depends. It is clear or not. It means UPSC is not checking your knowledge. It is going one step beyond knowledge. So don't think it is a fact. So here the point is that we have discussed that what is the core of modern history. So always keep in your mind infrastructure plus Renaissance and revolt. So around 6 questions is coming from here, and now we have to see from where these questions are coming. We are very comfortable here that at least by going through the 40% syllabus, this is very confirmed. But this part is very scattered. Here we have to do enough labor. But even then we can search out certain areas. For the remaining 4 questions, you have to go through this birth of nationalism and the first phase, which is called as moderates. Next phase is extremist. And the third phase is Gandhism. So in these 4 questions, from this 1, 2, this is stages in the national movement. We see the phase of moderates, phase of extremist, and lastly phase of Gandhism or Gandhist. The whole movement is revolving around these 3 phases. And here, at least 2 questions are from this topic. And these 2 questions, one is always from Gandhi. Gandhian approach, directly and indirectly. So just try to go through the approaches, their achievements, their contribution of all these 3 phases: moderatism, extremism, and Gandhism. It is something here. And one question is essentially from Gandhi, because without Gandhi, this is such a superman of the history of India, without this, India could not be united. India could be having today hundreds of Pakistan. Today we could be having hundreds of Pakistan. At least we have only one Pakistan. Or you can say 2 Pakistan, Bangladesh is also Pakistan. So this man was such a man which was responsible for the unity and integrity of the India. Hence every year one question is from here, and one question is often from either of the approach. So it is 2 questions, and the remaining 2 questions, because we are having around 10 questions, see the point. Remaining 2 questions, it is scattered. Here we have to be very much extensive. This exam required this, required this approach. For remaining 2 questions, you should be very much extensive instead of intensive. Here you should cover these areas in extensive way. So this is the most suitable approach for preparing for the history basic component, especially modern history. So after going to the second component, come to the third component. It is called as subaltern history. And here you will find around 2 questions. It not means only 2. Sometimes it may be 2 and 3 like this and this. It means the whole modern history. At least for the pre, you should focus only on 3 areas. First is infrastructure areas, that is how India is getting modern. Secondly, Renaissance and the revolts. And thirdly, the 3 phases. And lastly, it is subaltern. Can you tell me the meaning of subaltern? What do you mean by subaltern? Because in the mains also, around 2 questions coming from this topic. What do you mean? Subaltern means Dalit. Not only Dalit. Those who are lying at the bottom. Subaltern does not mean only Dalit. It means the persons, the classes which are lying at the bottom of society. It may be peasants, it may be workers, it may be tribals, it may be women, it may be soldiers. And see the interesting point, this area is not defined. It is up to you, because this exam is not checking your formal knowledge. It is civil services. It is checking beyond the formal knowledge. Just imagine what type of question is coming in the main. Just try to catch this point. UPSC is asking you, if there could be no Gandhi, what could be the profile of movement? Just imagine. That means what UPSC is checking. UPSC is not checking your knowledge. UPSC is checking your visualization, how you visualize. And this time in the mains, the question was like this: how Gandhi is relevant today? This chapter is not in any textbook. How Gandhi is important today depends upon the vision, how you have visualized Gandhi. You just carry the point. For what exam you are preparing, it will make you very comfortable. So subaltern means, it is an area means whatever is lying at the bottom. peasants, workers, revolutionaries, soldiers, women, tribal. And this soldiers class first time UPSC had incorporated this class as a subaltern class. Earlier, in no textbook, this class has been referred as subaltern class. Because soldier is lying at the bottom. He is Indian. He is serving the white man, but he is having patriotism. He had revolted against the white man. Why we feel shy in studying him? UPSC requires that type of knowledge. So at least around 2 questions will be here, but don't try to be very intensive. Be very extensive. Just catch some Krantikaris who had given something to India. For example, what Bhagat Singh had done, what Jatin Das had done. You should know the profile. So whatever question is coming, around 2 questions is coming from here. You should know the nature basically. So this was simply discussion of the whole modern history. They will carry the same way. And now just for 5 minutes for art and culture also. Again, the art and culture, you know, this area is also very unlimited area. You know, we cannot say this is art, this is culture, because whatever expression of the human, what is art and culture? It is the expression of any society. It is the most appropriate definition, you know. What is art and culture? Expression of any society. And you know, man can, since man is a magic creature of the God, he had expressed in a multiple expression. It means art and culture is undefined. But even then, we can focus on the core areas. So art and culture is the expression of any society which is preserved through the heritage, you know. Art means visible and culture means invisible. Here again, I will make you comfortable by the way that what area you should focus in art and culture, you know. Again, the point is that UPSC is focusing not on knowledge. UPSC will check you here again on the vision. Because civil services are planners, you know, you are the planners of Government of India. So what art is required here, you know. In this art component, one question is very much clear. It is coming from this. It does not mean only temple. It may be miscellaneous questions, it may be directly temple, because Indian art is not complete without temples. UPSC can ask you, arrange in order, or some special features. And one thing is very interesting here. A question may arise, the temple art got birth, got influenced by which art? You may be surprised to know this is an answer. One question is reserved for temples for UPSC, not now. Go and see the last year papers. You may be surprised to know for the last 40 years, because pre started from 1979, whatever is here. You were surprised to know, even when art and culture was not the part of syllabus. When art and culture was not the part of syllabus, even then UPSC was asking temple. Because India means temple. If you want to understand the mindset of India, temple will express at least 30% mindset of Indians, how Indians believe. So when art and culture was not the part, even then UPSC was asking, what is temple, what is temple? So temple art, multiple type of questions can be framed. Questions, you know, questions are not stories. UPSC never asks stories. UPSC asks visions. V means vision. What temple signifies? How temple had taken birth? How they cater the needs of society? How they serve the interests of king? How they serve the interest of the money lenders? It means questions may be not be stories. Question may be vision basically. That is why, you know, every question seems to be have 5 questions. UPSC का paper ऐसा बनता है. It seems that one question is having 5 questions. That is why we face tremendous pressure. So temple does not mean only temple. Temple means vision lying inside the temple. For example, a question may arise. Number 1 statement is, temple art got influenced by Buddhist art. Yet it took birth as a reaction to the Buddhist art. It is correct, incorrect? It is correct. You go and see the records, you go and see the evidences. You may be surprised to know that in the Brahminism, you know, when we say Brahminism, it means Hinduism. In Brahminism, originally there was no temple. There was no idol worship. You are aware about the Aryan religion. There is no idol, there is nothing like temple. Then what you are doing? You are worshipping nature basically. We are worshipping sun god. We are worshipping Vayu, air, rivers, mountains, this and this. It means you are worshipping nature, you are supporting ecological diversity. But once Buddhism, age of Buddha is 6th century BC. With the coming of iron, with the coming of economy, with the coming of money, we find some rebellious faith are taking birth in the Eastern India because Eastern India is having the reserves of iron. Around 24 thinkers are taking birth. One of them is Buddha. And Buddhist art, the core of Buddhist art is stupas. You know what is stupas? Stupa is semi-spherical structures. At the top we have 3 umbrella type of structures. And the relics of Buddhas are preserved inside the stupas. It means Buddha, just we have discussed in the early lectures. Buddha was a superhero thinker of Indian history. Even the China and Japan, what is China, what is Japan, what is Korea. Still, Japanese, Chinese are coming in India for studying Buddhism. So Buddha was such a thinker who was required by the new economies. Even countries like Japan had borrowed Buddha. China borrowed Buddha, Korea borrowed Buddha. Still that tendency is going on. Because Buddha gave a solution how you can live with time and money. You know what is time and money? It is the germs of globalized economy. First time India was having money, India was having time. Because money is coming, importance of time is coming. So Buddha gave you answer how you can live here. And whatever remains of Buddha, they are preserved in the structures which is called as stupas. The above 3, we have three this type of designs which is called as umbrellas type of designs. They signifies 3 jewels of Buddhism. They signifies 3 jewels, Buddha, Dhamma and Sangha. Are you aware of the point? These 3 umbrella structures at the top signifies 3 jewels of Buddhism. One is belief in Buddha, Dhamma means teachings, and Sangha means order. So stupa signifies, stupa can be called as a Buddhist temple. It is called as stupa. See the design of stupa, it is semi-spherical. And 3 umbrellas signifies the core of Buddhism. Belief in Buddha, belief in teachings, belief in Sangha. And the Buddhism took birth as a rebellion against Hinduism. Buddhism is coming as to rebel against the Hinduism. And sometimes Hinduism is a lay word basically. We should call it as a Brahminism. So 6th century BC is a turning point. Brahmanism is getting challenged by the Eastern Indian thinkers. One of them is Buddha. The first time Buddhists try to preserve the relics of Buddha through the structures called as stupas. These stupas can be called as a temple of Buddha. In the Hinduism, there was no temple. And Newton's third law. If action is there, reaction will be there. It is not only Newton's third law is lying in the physics, it is lying in the history also. If there is an action, there will be a reaction. Buddha is giving action, and now he is waiting for a reaction also. That is why in the post-Mauryan period, post-Mauryan period starts from 187 BC. Brahmanism is reacting now, not politically only, both politically, culturally. In the post-Mauryan period, first time in the history of India, we are having this art which is called as temple art. A question may arise in the history of India. The earliest evidence means writing evidence. The earliest writing evidence of temple is coming from which period? Answer is post-Mauryan. You may be aware, Mauryan kings also promoted these rebellious thinkers. Some are supporting Jainists. Chandragupta Maurya. He supported what? Then his son is Bindusar, Ajivikas, his grandson Ashok, Buddha. That means Mauryas promoted secularism basically in the say, or they promoted the rebellious faith who had rebelled against the Brahmanism. So one thing is interesting here, temple art is taking birth as a reaction to Buddhism. Buddha is, Buddha is lying here. The design of stupa is like this. This is stupa. It is semi-spherical, it is closed basically. And see how temple will take, but since it is action, it means Buddhism was declared as a, Buddha became the hero and Brahmanism became villain of the history of India. But now Brahmanism will become hero and Buddha will become villain. See how will, but now what will happen? In the postmodern period, see what will happen in temple. In the postmodern period, this will be the design of temples. They are having only one structure. We will have 4 structures, 5 structures. देखा आपने? Action and reaction. Now the Brahmin thinkers thought, Buddha, you are living here. See how we are there. You are living inside a semi-spherical structures. We are living in the 5 structures. One of them is the largest tower in middle, surrounded by some supplementary towers, 4 towers. And Buddha is having 3 umbrellas. We are having a great flag, at the top. You know what is flag? Flag signifies, flags give you some type of elevation, some type of feeling like you are Superman. So see the reaction. That means temple structures got influenced by Buddhist art. Buddha is lying inside this, we are lying inside this. And it is just see the reaction. You are single, we are 5. It is very clear that temple art got influenced by these type of facts can be asked by UPSC. And since we have multiple facts, so one question is coming from temples, but don't think like this. It is story. It is not a story. Questions may be checking your vision. Second question is always coming from this component. It may be cave architectures or painting. Again, the point is same. No story, vision. Temples में UPSC can ask some vision-based questions, cave architectures and painting, again vision-based questions. Why it is important? Because it is the first expression of the man. Painting was the first expression, And gradually man started making some cave shelters. Initially the caves were God-made caves. But from Mauryas we have man-made caves. So this is the core part of Indian art. And our journey starts from here. Journey is starting from here. If you just try to visualize this point, once man is there, art is there. Because man is not an animal. And the journey is starting from here. The first expression was painting. And the second expression is, because language will be there, first script is there, language is there. And you may be surprised to know, the world's oldest languages are called as pictographic. Why? Because they are pictures basically. Because you started journey with the pictures. Earliest expression was painting. And gradually painting got transformed into script. That is why the oldest languages resembles pictographic script. Because you started from here. Man is expressing his life through the painting. Second stage is, he became more advanced. He is developing literature. And go and see the last year papers. Art and culture is incomplete without temple. Art and culture is incomplete without paintings. Art and culture is incomplete without literature. And every year, at least one question is coming from literature. And mostly it is religious literature. Sometimes it may be secular, but one question is here. So see the vision of UPSC. UPSC is focusing not on a storytelling parts. Once the meaning is clear, you can move in proper direction. So what is art? Art means paintings, literatures, temple and cave architectures. At least 3 questions is very much confirmed from this segment. So this is art and culture. This is the first core part, and the second core part is dance and music. At least here again I can assure you, this is again 40 years back question, it is still coming on. When art and culture was not the part of syllabus, even then UPSC was asking dance. Go and see the last 30 years papers. The UPSC because if you want to know India is lying inside the temple, India is lying inside the dances. If you know dance and temple, at least you can know the mindset of Indians, because whatever dances we are having, majority of them had taken birth from inside the temples. So these two were the favorite question of UPSC for the last 30 years. When art and culture was not the part, even then UPSC was asking. Again today means 2016, 17, 18, 19, whatever you are having, 19 is coming to, just going to happen. Again you may be very much comfortable. इस बार भी UPSC डांस में कुछ पूछेगी. अब क्या पूछेगी आपको मालूम है क्या पूछेगी? Not a story. Question may be having this type of orientation. UPSC will never ask you what is Kathakali. The days are over. UPSC will ask you if any government of India or any cultural ministry may have declared any dance as special award has been declared, or a special summit has been happened, or some special summit is going outside. So whatever question is asked, it is being asked from this type of attitude. But music and drama, you cannot, don't waste your time in music and drama. It is undefined. It is simply waste of time. Here we will focus only on some current aspect of the dance basically. So one question is here. Let me see how many questions are there. One is from temple, one is from literature, one from cave architecture and printing. So how many questions are together here? It is 3 questions. And one from dance. So see, once you become comfortable about the areas UPSC is focusing, it means in culture, art and culture, how many questions are together now? It is 4 questions are now. And now we are coming on the culture part. Culture means invisible. Here culture means invisible, that is religion and philosophy is the core component. Religion and philosophy. And you may be surprised to know, it is 2 and 3 questions, sometime 2, sometime 3. So in art and culture, don't study everything. It is simply, you will get knowledge, no doubt, but the exam is not checking your knowledge. Focus on the core part of culture. It is religion and philosophy. And here you will be surprised to know, in religion and philosophy, UPSC has reserved 2 questions for the Super Baba. And who is the Super Baba, you know? Because he has given you an art of living. Even today, Ravi Shankar or whatever thinkers we are having, majority of thinkers, you know, whatever we are having, they are simply copying Buddha. It is very unfortunate. It is very unfortunate today. We Indians have forgotten this thinker. Today he is only used as a vote bank. He celebrates his birthday for vote bank, you know, because he became a Dalit Superman, because Ambedkar became a follower of him. Today Buddha's birthday is celebrated by parties not for promoting the message of Buddha, because he is a vote bank. It is very unfortunate. Instead of practicing his teachings, we are celebrating his birthday only. Whenever his birthday comes, you know, every party, Congress, BJP, Mamata Banerjee, whatever parties we are having, they celebrate his birthday because they know Dalits will get the vote bank. These are reasons. But we are not practicing his teachings. It is very unfortunate. And you know, country like China, country like Japan, Korea, they are not celebrating his birthday as such. They are celebrating his practices. See where they are lying, where they are standing. So UPSC को मालूम है कि, but you know, UPSC means exam. So UPSC is checking your vision. That is why UPSC is focusing 2 questions from this component. You will surprise to know. Go and see the papers. So one thing is very confirmed. Single thinker is giving you 2 questions. Just see the point. And art and culture, we have, now we go through the guide. But you know what is guide? And a guide only requires 3 letters. So whatever guides we are having in the market, I can assure you, they are not coming to the up to the mark. Simply taking zigzag way. If you are good civil services aspirant, you know the areas where to focus. This Super Baba is coming, just focus on his policies. So UPSC had reserved 2 questions from this super thinker, and one thing is very confirmed. One question is from his biography, and one from his teachings. UPSC का record है कि उसने बुद्धा को miss नहीं किया. Although Indians have forgotten Buddha, but UPSC had not forgotten Buddha, because UPSC know the point. Today India is again needing Buddha more. Today we need Buddha more because we are witnessing the same society, globalized society. Today we are using ATM and Paytm. That means our economy is moving at a fast pace. We require Buddha more today than at that time. That is why UPSC is focusing. At least you people may be aware about what is Buddha. Because once you become the planner of Government of India, it will help you in planning basically. Buddha will help you in planning basically. Not only planning. Buddha will help you in preparation of civil services also. Once you know about Buddha, you can easily connect civil services. Because this man is giving you idea. And finally, after getting selection, you can express to the media how you connect civil services. You can say, I followed the eightfold path of Buddha. Really, it is an answer. Just go and see the point. Because this man is giving you, what is eightfold path. Right thought, right knowledge, right speech, right action. Automatically, your answer writing will improve. Right meditation, right thought, right speech, right action. If a person is really practicing Buddhism, I can assure you, not only you will crack the UPSC, you will be lying at the top. So UPSC को मालूम है कि क्या पूछा जा रहा है. It means very confirm. And last year, the data was like this. See, it means it is not a story. I am giving you the evidence. In 2018, 2017, 2016, ये डाटा आपके सामने है. And you say we are studying art and culture, and you are having a guide, you are studying a Bengal art, and different types of arts, but the wasting your time. Focus on the core areas. Culture means the thinkers, what thoughts they had given to Indian history. So Buddha had given a new thought. You know the point. And last year we had 3 questions. This was very surprising. So here the one component is very clear. So Buddha, and one question may be from either Brahmanism. You know what is Brahmanism? And some other miscellaneous faith. It may be Jainism, Ajivikism, whatever it is. But at least one thing is confirmed, Buddha will be there. And that means how many questions are there now? 3 from art, temple, painting and literature, and 1 dance. See how comfortably I am writing this point, because I know what is the nerve of UPSC. So focus on these areas: temple, paintings, literature and dance. Because although dance is very scattered topic, we cannot say we can master over it, but at least we can go through the current aspect of the dances. So at least 3 questions will be there. And next, 2 from Buddha. It means 3 plus 2, it is 5 now. And the remaining, it is 5 now. And next, terminologies, terminologies are also asked by UPSC. What terminologies? Socio-cultural, political. Here you will find at least 1 question is from terminologies. Because terminology given expression of what India was there in the past, what India was in the medieval history. For example, UPSC can ask you, what was Devdan in ancient India? What was Agrahar in ancient India? What was Brahmadev in ancient India? Terminology means you should go through the terminologies. It helps us in knowing the psyche of Indian society. It helps us in knowing the psyche of Indian society. So at least 1 question is coming from here. So 3 plus 2, 5 plus 1, 6. And the remaining 3 and 4 question, whatever is coming, it is coming from medieval culture. medieval mein again focus on only on Bhakti Sufi movement. In medieval mein you have to focus on Bhakti and Sufi and plus painting and architecture. This is simply discussion to make you comfortable at least, so that you should not scattered in preparation of this art and culture and this modern history. And now we are going to start with modern history. Here we are starting from the core part which we have discussed just now. Infrastructure development in British India. So just we have discussed around 3 questions will be from this topic. And the first topic which we are going to discuss is here the first point is economic structure or economic policy, whatever you can say. And the British came for the same purpose, after Plassey and Buxar, India became a colony. It means our history is basically colonial history. We call it as a modern history. Modern history means it is simply a byproduct. We became modern as such, but our history is colonial history. Here we will focus on these areas. Economic structure, we will focus on these areas. Number 1 is T and C. You know what is T and C? T and C means trade and commerce. Second, we will discuss the different land revenue policies. Third, we will discuss commercialization of agriculture. And fourth is investment, British investment. And one question is very clear from this component. Last year UPSC had asked 2 questions basically, but at least one question is coming. Because our whole history is revolving around this component. British came for the same purpose. First, listen, we are discussing about T and C. Yes, first is T and C, T and commerce. Second is land revenue. Third is commercialization of agriculture. And lastly, it is British capital investment in India. First, we are discussing T and C. Can you tell me in which year English company came to India? In which year? 1608. And in which year it captured power? It's an interval of how many years? 150 years. Company came here. It became Superman here. This journey lasted for around 150 years, and 150 years is a meaningful time. Here you will come to know what is India, what is Indian mindset. That is why they are daring to throw the Indian leaders, Indian kings. So see the profile of this. So first phase we will discuss this 150 years. This will move in the 3 paragraphs, So here what was going in 150 years, we will say this period was in favor of India. This period can be called as a golden phase in this modern history. It was going positive means in favor of India. Because company is not a Superman. Company simply is a trading company which is begging in the courts of Indian kings for privileges. We were making our goods. India was having this industry. SSI, what is SSI? The smallest industries. They were booming like anything. In the first place, what is going on? We will say this 150 years is in favor of India. Then what was going on? This industry was booming like anything. Demand, supply. This is the first factor. But now this dark phase is coming. This second phase. First phase is over, now second phase is coming. Why we are starting from here? Because Battle of Plassey will change the history. It is very surprising and also very unfortunate in the history of India that only these two battles will change the history of India. It is very surprising. If you go and study the other countries, sometimes it requires some more battles. But here only two battles will change the history. That means company became the political master. In short, we can say company became the boss of India. And boss can do anything. Not only boss. Company became the god of India. And God can do anything. And now company will exploit these workers. It is exploitation of this class. What he will discuss in this phase, it is a dark phase in the history of India. Company became the super god of India and now these workers are at the mercy of the company. Mercy means you can do whatever you want. They were forced to sign the bond for the companies, they are working and working. But it is going against the principle of economics. Economics says a person works to get profit. But here we say a person is working for exploitation. It is impossible. One day he will leave his work. The same will happen. So what is going in second phase? This phase can be called as a negative with respect to the Indian history. First phase was positive. It is negative. What is the outcome? Outcome is like this. Number one, exploitation of SSI started. Next stage is this is very important equation. See that, try to understand this equation. Once exploitation will start, what will happen? Because he is a man, he is not an animal. He will react. See the reaction. Second reaction is migration. Of SSI workers from urban areas to village areas. You can write V also. This is a very interesting equation, The exploitation led to what? A reverse migration. It can be called as a reverse migration in the history. Oftenly we hear about migration from village to urban areas. But in British India, we hear about a reverse migration. Anytime in the pre-UPSC can, because pre-may UPSC not asking stories. When the questions are not checking your simply objective knowledge, it is checking subjective knowledge also. The UPSC can ask you what was going in British India after Plassey and Buxar, number 1, 2, number 2, number 3, number 4. Migration started, reverse migration. From U to V. Reason, what is the reason? Because they were working and working by the bond. What is bond? Forcible bond. And you have no channel for your relief. Either you will commit suicide or you will run away. They are running away. They are running away to where? To their parental villages. To escape the exploitation. Then what will happen then next? It will lead to fragmentation of land holding, The size will increase or decrease? Decrease. पूरी equation ही है. Discuss हुआ था. That means workers are moving towards their parental villages gradually. And last, then what is coming next? Size of land holding is getting decreased year by year. Agriculture, land holding ALH got decreased. So see how we have started our discussion from trade and commerce in cities, and now we are coming in the village. And you may be surprised to know the same question was asked by UPSC in the mains also. Question की language क्या था उसमें? How T&C of the company had affected the Indian agriculture. Are you getting this point? How and T&C had affected Indian agriculture. If your logics are strong, you can write a good answer. This is the story. T&C, these workers have no channel to escape. Where you can escape? Either you go to the God by committing suicide, or you run away from cities. So they are going to the villages. What is happening next? Size is getting short. What size? Land holding is getting reduced now. And when it is reduced, what will happen next? FGP. Food gain production decline. Because once land is divided, fencing will be there, size will got short. Are you getting this point? Size will got short, food gain production will decline. But population is increasing. Then the answer is famine and famine and famine. This is a picture of the white man history. Although he is a white man, but history is very dark. In the British history, we are very surprised. We are studying a white man history, but it is very surprising. When this white man started governing India, every 10 years you will find a famine. How it happened? It is very surprising. Earlier we were having famine in the interval of 100 years, 200 years. Any time in the mains also UPSC can ask question, why in British India every decade we have famine is ready. So all of a sudden how this, although white man history should be white history, why it is such a black history? You know what is the answer? This is the answer. Every 10 years a famine is ready. You can explain through this equation. The second phase we have discussed like this, and the third phase is coming. Third phase is the phase of T&C. First phase mein India was getting profit. Second mein India started losing. Not only losing, our agriculture also got ruined. The British trade and commerce had destroyed Indian agriculture. How? This is one of the main source. Thirdly, third phase we can discuss from here. Lasts for around 50 years. Third phase we can discuss here. Here, why we are putting this year as a benchmark? Because by this time industrial revolution was in a takeoff stage. In this year, around this year, industrial revolution in Britain was in a takeoff. It means now it is jumping. Germination phase is over. That is why we are putting this line as a benchmark. Industrial revolution is taking off. And you know what is industrial revolution? Coming of factory, coming of industries. Industries require, large number of raw materials. They require a market. In this phase, you will find certain changes in policies. For example, what happened in this phase? In this phase, we find certain changes were made in policy. Can you tell me? These are charters 1813, it is charter 33, it is charter 13 and 33. Can you tell me by which charter English companies' monopoly with India was abolished? No, India. No, India was this, China was this. If a question arises, by which charter English companies' monopoly with India was abolished? After India we have China. These two are the 40% market of the world. We say China is this. Above India we have China. So see the British Parliament. Who is making the charter? British Parliament is making charter. Why as such? Because now industrial revolution is jumping. Means take off. Now you want to capture the market at any cost. Earlier only English company was enjoying monopoly, which was called as EIC. And now British Parliament want to encroach the market. And they also want to allow all companies of Britain to come to India and China. Earlier only one company was enjoying monopoly, it was this company. And now what will happen? This is the answer. Now all English company can come in India because industrial revolution is at takeoff stage. This is the point. Earlier only English company was coming and selling the goods or purchasing goods, whatever you can say. But when industrial revolution was in takeoff stage, gradually English company lost its monopoly. Why? Because you know why? Takeoff. Now all companies, English companies were allowed to sell their goods. So keep in mind, 13 May it is India, it is China. So why it is coming? Because industrial revolution is in takeoff stage. This is third phase. And in this phase, what will happen? In this phase, again we can say, this sector, you know what is this sector? It got completely ruined. This word could be added here. In this phase, what happened? This sector got completely destroyed. Although after Buxar started, but now they cannot survive. They cannot survive in front of industrial goods. So this is the first component. Trade and commerce has been discussed. Now we are coming to the land revenue component. Land revenue. But UPSC will not ask stories, just we have discussed. Questions are always checking what knowledge or something else. Questions are checking your vision, how you have visualized the history. Again here UPSC will ask you, still we are waiting for the specs. UPSC will ask you what fundamental changes India witnessed here. The first is try to understand these fundamental changes. In the land settlements in British India, what fundamental changes India witnessed? First is IOL. What do you mean by it? Individual ownership of land, means private property. Secondly, it is land revenue should be given in cash and should be what? Half of produce, because British came in India not to govern India. India is their colony, and you know what is colony? Colony has only one history, to the master. Master always serve colony for the economic interest. Whatever structures we are having, it is simply a byproduct. So that is why their share of the state was what? It is half of the produce. It means the peasants have to contribute around half of the produce to the cash. And see the point, it is cash. And you may be surprised to know, in pre-British India, pre-British means before the white man. Before the white man came to India, it was, in the Muslim India, it was once 1/3. When the Babar, Humayun, Akbar were governing, and when the Hindu king was governing, you should know the share of the state. Hindu law says this, Muslim law says this, and the white man say, no, I want this, because he came for the same purpose. So we have points to prove it why British came to India. Because India is their colony, and colony has economic interest. This is the proportion the state demands. Hindu state, Muslim state, British state. That is in cash, and we have 3 settlements. Can you name them? Primarily we have permanent settlement, then we have right-wise settlement, and then we have Mahalwari. Here UPSC can ask you about how they had affected. For example, what was the area inside it? What percentage area here? 19% is 51%, understood 30%. What percentage of cultivated area lying inside this? And what is the merit and demerit? A question may arise, why permanent settlement? Any answer, please? Why company or company's architect had went for PS in Bengal? Bengal, Bihar, Odisha. Any answer? Why permanent settlement? Because UPSC का तो आपको मालूम ही है, questions is not, UPSC will never ask you in which year. UPSC will never ask you who is the architect. The stories are not required. UPSC will ask you why. Why permanent? Why it is only in Bengal? Although Bengal means Bengal, Bihar, Odisha, because they are the part of Bengal. Yes, answer. Yes, you are somewhat near to the correct answer, but some more facts are required. The Zamindar is not an employee. He is simply a character, But the point is that why company went for PS in Bengal? Because Bengal was the headquarter. They want to strengthen their roots in Bengal. Bengal is the nerve center of British India. Here they want a class which could be bodyguard of British India. And these zamindars will gradually become the bodyguard. Because they want to make Bengal very safe and secure. Instead of recognizing the peasants as the person who is cultivator as landlord, they gave this zamindari right to the outsiders. There was city urban elite class. The urban elite class got the land ownership right, zamindari rights. The cultivator is somebody else, owner is somebody else. Why? Because British want some bodyguard class here. And you were surprised to know, these zamindars served the interest of the white man. They served the interest. What is right to worry system? Here there is no middleman. The cultivator is the owner. The cultivator is the owner of the land. While in permanent settlement, cultivator is somebody else, owner is somebody else. And keep in your mind this term also. Permanent settlement also led towards absentee landlordism. This word is also used by historians. UPSC can use this term, landlordism. So permanent settlement led to this type of structure in Bengal. Landlord is absent because he is living in cities. He is involved in multiple business activities. He has no interest in agriculture because he is not an agriculturist. He has developed agriculture only as a source of income, but truly he is not agriculturist. And if you are not agriculturist, you will never have that type of sense. So some historians had used this type of structure as absentee landlordism, because he will hire some juniors, his subordinates, to go and collect the revenue, and we will have a status of landlord, junior landlord, middle landlord, not so. So right system is going in South India, and who was the architect? Thomas Munro was the architect, and area was something like this. This system is more better than the permanent settlement because there is no middleman. And Mahalwari means, what is Mahal? What is the meaning of Mahal? Yes, Mahal is a village, and in UP and adjoining areas we have a large number of villages. So here British evolved this system Mahal because villages were very large numbers and settlement was made in the village. It means village became the unit of assessment. Only try to understand it this way. Here peasant is a unit of settlement. Here village is a unit of settlement, assessment you can say. That is why it is called as a Mahalwari. The whole village has to contribute. First they have to pool their liabilities at the house of landlord, and the state will collect from there. So it is called as Mahalwari, and beneath Mahalwari, yes please. Uh-huh. Yes, yes. Yes, yes. Very, very good. Yes, yes. Yes, very good question. Just try to understand this point. You know, Bengal is very sensitive because they won India from Bengal. This is one thing. This is a very interesting point. If you go and see the whole history of India, whatever invaders we have witnessed in the whole history, if this is India, India is won from here. It is Delhi, it is Panipat. If you want to win India, come from here, India is over. But British are smart invaders, you know. They don't came from Panipat. They know this Bengal is Panipat for them. Because right from the history they have come to know Bengal is the richest province. Even Marco Polo, who came in 11th century, had expressed that Bengal is the richest province. It means this invasion is unique in the sense it is just opposite. Invasion is from the east, Bengal. It is a human behavior. Since you invaded from here, it means this area should be very much safe. This area should be very much safe. You should have some. You cannot deal with the dirty class which is cultivator. You require some elite class. Hence, a reason is given that why in Bengal company is going for this settlement, because here they require some middle class, not the cultivators, and they are not salaried class. Company came in India not to govern. Company came in India for money basically. Without giving any salary to the officers, company will get revenue from the whole Bengal without investing any zero amount. You know what is Bengal, Assam, Bangladesh, everything is Bengal. Then why company has not gone for the same system in south? This was your question. Why it was not going in south? Why it was not going in this UP and other areas? Again, the answer is like this, you know, because company means mastermind people sitting in London. Parliament and the court of directors, they just go and study the India, what is India. So companies, bureaucrats, policymakers, they have studied the socio-cultural profile of Deccan and South. They studied the socio-cultural profile of Deccan and South, and the answer is what Shivaji has done in the history, what Hyder Ali has done, what Tipu Sultan has done, what Vijayanagar Empire has done. Because British are mastermind people. That is why they were governing around 30% of the world. Why in Bengal this? Because Bengal they need this system. Why in South this? Because here history is like this. Shivaji never hired middleman. Hyder Ali never middleman. Hence they thought the people of these areas are directly linked with the state. They had never witnessed any middleman. So right-wise system was more suitable here. Then why not in Bengal? Bengal, my answer is different. Because Bengal is your headquarter. Here you cannot make settlements. And in North India also we have traditions. In North India, whatever kings we are having, they have always hired some middleman. You may be aware. In medieval history, we have this class, you know. In medieval history, I am talking about the medieval history. Hoods, Mukaddams and Chaudhries. In the period of Sultanate dynasties, they were the middleman, or you can say the rich landlords who were hired by the state. They were called as Hoods, Mukaddams, Chaudhries in medieval India to collect the revenue. It means North India has a tendency of seeing the middleman. Still the tendency is going on. If you go in south, people are directly, you know, peasants are very, if you go in south, you find peasants are very much entrepreneurs, you know. Still it is a profile, the same type profile. In South Indian peasants, you find they are very much, they are very good entrepreneurs. In North India, they are somewhat lazy because they had this type of structures. Because whenever middleman is there, you will be somewhat lazy. And when you are directly involved, you may be highly entrepreneurial. So this is the profile. Then why in northwest? That is Punjab, Sindh, Mehalwari system. Because here the population is very large. Number of villages are very large. Villages are very large in numbers. If villages are very large in numbers, government want to minimize its expenditure because India is colony. British will not try to waste their money in India. They always will try to minimize expenditure and maximize the revenue. Minimize expenditure, maximize the profit. Then Mehalwari system, they are not going for the individual collection. They are going for village collection. It does not mean ki here again the same answer. Cultivator is the owner. But how the revenue will be transferred? The village is an assessment unit. Here answer is village is an assessment unit. Don't think like village is the owner. Village is not an owner. Village is simply a collection unit. The headman will transfer the liabilities of individual peasants to a British officer. Why they are making such arrangement? Otherwise, they will have to expend large number of. They will have to employ large number of officers. By single village, officers will be less numbers, and you will cut the revenue. Exactly, it is. But history. It is also one of the points. History is not a science. We cannot say history is having Newton's. We say Newton's have 3 laws. History have 5 laws. It is not like this. So always avoid these words like this. 2 points are there, 3 points are there, 5 points are there. History we cannot use these type of statements. It is not a science. Science we can say Newton's laws are 3. And Archimedes' laws are 2. It is history. There are no laws. Whatever law you got, it means, you can say like this. 2 points are main point, 3 points are main points, 5 points are main point. You can use the word main point. But you cannot say it only 2 points. It is history, it is human sciences. The point is, it is also one of the reasons. That means we have discussed this settlement. And what is talukadari? So just try to understand only the word. Talukadar means the person who is the head of collection of revenue from the groups of villages. Taluka means, try to understand only the term. It was a Mehalwari. What is Mahal? Village. What is Taluka? Groups of villages. Again the same answer, because minimize expenditure and maximize revenue. Once you come in UP, you know what is UP even today? Largest in population, it is called as Awadh. So once Awadh became the part of Punjab, now government is thinking what settlement should go in Awadh. So they will study the Awadh. Awadh has largest population even today, same time also the same data. Hence they thought, let us go for this arrangement. Let us make some talukas. What is taluka? Some groups of villages. Here the unit of assessment is taluka. Method is same. Cultivator is the owner. Then why you are making this? Because we want to minimize the expenditure. India is not their country. What is India then? India is their colony. So it is talukadari system. At least you should know the meaning here. And it is all suiting the interest. And one thing is, conclusion is, this is a conclusion. Whatever land revenue they are getting, it is going investing in which field? It is diverted in which field? Whatever revenue, crores and crores is coming here. Yes, it is going here. See the point, that is a drain of wealth. Money from India is going here. Otherwise, it should go in modernization of agriculture. So whatever crores and crores is coming, company from the same crores is purchasing your goods. See the point, it is very unfortunate what history we are having. What is history? A company has become the president and the PM of India. Like today, suppose Ambani became the president, his brother became the prime minister, what history will we have? Same history is there. Both president and the PM and Superman, all is this. You can do whatever you want. So land revenue, whatever money they are getting here, they are diverting in. So they are not bringing their own money. From our money, they are purchasing our goods. It is called drain of wealth. And Naroji had given some statement. Naroji, the first Indian who exposed the white man. So Naroji was the first who exposed this white man by claiming like this: if Britishers could have invested only this percent, if Britishers could have invested only this, where? In modernization of agriculture, India's Indian agriculture could be in a very comfortable stage at the time of independence. It means they had not even invested this percentage. Then what they may have invested? Less than this, it may be 20%, 21%, whatever you can say. So suppose they are getting 100 rupees here. Suppose they got 100 rupees from land revenue. So they are diverting 75 rupees in TNC and 25 rupees, 80 rupees. Because he is saying if they could have invested 25%. It means we can say out of 100 if they are diverting 80 rupees in TNC and they are just using 20 rupees for agriculture modernization. That is why still today our agriculture is called as a gambling with the monsoon. You may be surprised to know still today 40% of area, cultivable area is cultivated by the God, irrigation by the God. Because we don't have canals, still it is gambling with the monsoon. If Britishers could have utilized the structure, our agriculture today could be top in the world. It is land revenue basically, and now it is commercialization of agriculture. Can you tell me how it is distinguished? How it is different from the earlier phase? How you can distinguish this commercialization in British India? How it was unique? How you can say commercialization in British India was unique? Any answer? We have discussed earlier. Whether commercialization was first time brought in India or it was earlier there also. Indians were aware about this or the British made us aware about this. Whether commercialization was known to Indians earlier, yeah, British made us aware about this. It was there. Hey, what is commercialization? Can you tell me what is commercialization? No. Make it very, just try to give you answer in a very simple language. Answer. It means whenever you grow a crop for commercial purpose, it means you are commercializing. Commercial means market, profit. So whenever a crop is grown, taking market into consideration. Market means you are profiting or losing, This thought is in your mind. It means you are pursuing this. So whenever crop is grown, taking market into consideration, it is commercialization. Keep in your mind, we Indians were well aware, not aware only, we are practicing this. Right from IVC, you know what is IVC? 5,000 years back from now, Indians were well aware what is commercialization. We can produce some crops for the market. In IVC, we have evidences that barley, cotton were grown and the IVC traders were carrying to the outside to sell this barley and cotton, this and this. In medieval India, we have sugar cane. sugar cane and cotton, all this is going on. It means we cannot say it is a new thing. But even then UPSC will ask you in this way. UPSC can give you some points like this. In British India, it was unique in the sense, even then it is unique, Why unique? Number one, in this commercialization, some new crops were introduced. Some new crops which were not suitable for Indian soil. Earlier commercialization suited to the Indian soil. Are you getting this point? Earlier commercialization which we witnessed, which was suited to the Indian soil, but this commercialization witnessed some new crops not suitable for Indian soil. What will happen? One day your soil will become barren or will lose fertility. And you know what is the new crops? In this British India we have witnessed tea is there, coffee is there, indigo is there, and some miscellaneous crops are also there. Although cotton was known, no doubt, but here we find some new crops are coming in the Indian soil. So our soil will lose fertility, not immediately, gradually. Second is, here the main beneficiary is the white man. Earlier it was we ourselves. Why commercialization is unique here? Firstly, our soil is losing fertility because some white man is the god of India, he can't do anything. Secondly, earlier we were the main beneficiary, but now the color has changed. Beneficiary is something. No doubt, Indians are also beneficiary, but the word is main beneficiary. See the white line. We cannot say Indians may be also benefited, we cannot deny. But the major beneficiary is the white man. Because they are good in money, they are investing, they are good in technology also. Thirdly, this commercialization had also led to the decline in FGP, food grain production. Why? Because area under this crops, cash crop will increase at the cost of food grain crops. Are you getting this point? Area under cash crops will increase at the cost of food grain crops. Where you were cultivating wheat, rice, now you are cultivating tobacco also, tea also. But one day you will face crisis. This is also one of the reasons why in British India famine, this is also one of the reasons. Because history may we have multiple reasons. It is not Newton's law. We have multiple reasons why India became the famine country. This is one of the reasons. The European planters are increasing the area under cash crops. What crops? You know what is crop? Indigo, tea, coffee, where the essential grains were cultivated. So this is, in this way we can say, it is. Yes, please. Because first time